like sweet morning.
I'm Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. If your relationship is in trouble, I'm the dude to call. Has your soulmate become your cellmate? Does black love still exist? What are your bedroom turnoffs? Fantasies and fetishes. Financial infidelity. I'm dating a fat person. Are they worth the wait? Trust me, this gonna be crazy.
How about the heavy stuff?
The child wasn't his, and he still had to pay child support.
It's a very heated topic.
How was that right?
Mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
I just have so many questions I want to ask you.
I just like to kiss a woman's ass. Is there something wrong with that?
Damn.
He told me he had a vasectomy. I'm pregnant.
Betrayal has been committed.
Hit you with the bad pipes routine.
How does he maintain his humposity?
He likes it when it pinches my nip.
Why can't you open up, brother?
I'm a karate man. Karate man rules on the inside. They don't show their weaknesses.
Yeah.
How do you write women so well?
Zoe Williams,
Reason and accountability.
the voice of reason. Ladies and gentlemen, Hot Button Radio's own Zoe Williams, voice of reason, in the building. Mm-hmm. You know how Fridays are. We tend to get crazy on Friday. We tend to get crazy on Fridays. We have a very crazy topic today. As a matter of fact, if you're following me on Instagram, at Mr. Zoe What, on Twitter, at Zoe Williams, I'm about to tweet this topic out right now.
Tweet it.
Oh, my God.
Tweet
and
that
I know you hear the Fruitopian Orchestra in the back. I don't know who this is. What artist is this? RuPaul. Jesus.
RuPaul is amazing. And it's so fitting for our topic, isn't it?
I think so. Quite apropos for today's topic. Listen, get to your phone lines right now, 844-55-1. Caller-driven show. We want to know your opinion. I think there is an agenda, right? I think there's an agenda to push this overall acceptance of alternative lifestyles. Now, one lifestyle that's really getting straight hella leverage in terms of on the legal side of the game is same-sex marriages, right? That's been in the news. Oh my God, the Supreme Court just said it's okay, right? But then there's another one bubbling underneath that, the transgender movement. Caitlyn and them. Caitlyn is the leader of a new gang.
Slay, honey, slay.
I don't know what that means, but okay. 844-55-1. Today's topic, transgender buyer's remorse. A lot of people don't know. A deeper look into the persistent disappointment after gender sex change. So what is that saying? They have an agenda to push the overall acceptance of this. But at the end of the day, they're not talking about how people are disappointed after they get it done. So this whole sex change and there's a little girl in me dying to come out.
Me too. Okay, sorry.
No, you have a badass little monkey inside of you dying to come out. And when they perfect that surgery, I can't wait until you turn into this 5'4" monkey.
See how you do me? Oh, I thought that was me making those noises. I'm like, damn, I'm good.
See? But I'm saying, they're always trying to, you'll be happy if you get to be yourself. And a lot of these people are finding out that even after they get what they want, they're not fucking happy about it. Transgender eating on the mic buyer's remorse.
Nobody heard me chewing. Like, that's one of those things where it's like you could have just kept that on the low.
I will not.
Oh, you can actually hear the raisin?
Yes, we can hear you opening up your little monkey pouch. Like the first marsupial monkey.
I'm not dealing with this shit.
So today's topic, it's a tough topic, but a lot of people are out there suffering, right? Transgender buyer's remorse. God damn. What is going on in the world? Do you think Caitlyn, I know him as Bruce Jenner. When I was a kid, the motherfucker was on the Wheaties box because he was an Olympian.
They actually want him to give that back now. Did you hear about that?
Yeah. Give it back, motherfucker.
It's fucked up.
Is it?
Okay.
Why is it fucked up?
Because he still won it, regardless of
Yeah, it's
what
true.
he's trying to
I
fuck
give you
now
that.
or not.
You're right. I digress. You're right. The motherfucker did win it. He just won it as another person. Jesus. We want to know your opinion. Like, is your head swimming on a swivel right now, trying to keep up with all of the fucking changes that are happening in the world today? The phone lines are open, 844-55-1. Transgender buyer's remorse. Is the transgender explosion the result of fatherlessness in America? I ain't have a daddy. The only example I have is a woman, a strong woman. And in those situations, I guess women tend to look stronger than men when men are absent. Maybe I should show my mother my appreciation by turning into a woman. What the fuck?
It's funny.
844-55-1. I know. It's politically incorrect and you shouldn't be talking like this and we have rights. And I haven't said anything against your rights. I don't have to like the process. And is the United States government starting to legislate mental illness? Because before, this shit is a mental illness. Right? Joan of Arc could have sworn she was talking to God. God was like, hey, go kill motherfuckers in my name. And couldn't nobody tell Joan of Arc shit. She went and killed people. Later on, they said, this bitch crazy. Is transgender and homosexuality and all that shit a mental illness?
Wow.
Homosexuality was considered a mental illness in the 70s until they lobbied and said, fuck that.
So was being black.
No, black was never a mental illness.
Black used to be cursed.
Okay.
They said that people that were black were cursed. They weren't blessed like white people.
Why are you chewing?
You don't remember that?
I remember that. It's religious. Yeah, but never was black.
I'm
a
just
mental
saying we've
illness.
evolved from a lot of stupid shit.
Let me see. What we got? Oh, yeah. Phone lines is crazy right now. What's the phone number, little girl?
What?
You like it when he tell you that.
844-55-1 is the number to call.
Back that little Volkswagen bus up, little girl.
I'm not going to be able to deal with this without my nigga today. My nigga
Whitney is gone.
Whitney's on vacay.
844-55-1. Whitney is on her way back to Philly, city of brotherly love. Let me ask more questions. Are there more women who choose to be men than there are men choosing to be women? Little Chaz Bono action? You know what? I was born a girl, but I would like to look like a middle-aged fat linebacker. That's evil. You should never speak on him like that. He has rights to be fat and ugly with 7 chins. He has a right.
He does.
And we got a right to make jokes about it. 844-55-1. We got a right to question it and not like it. And it's America.
Sure.
It's America, Jack. You ain't got enough money to buy my daughter. Say one more thing. I'm going to break my foot off in your royal ass. I'm just saying. It's America. We get to say shit. Right? Do you think the people who do the transgender shit should like really go to therapy hella before and hella after? Because what I'm hearing now is if you go to a therapist and you say, hey, I want to be a girl, they can't legally tell you not to do that shit. They can't be like, nuh-uh, something wrong with you. You crazy. You in here tripping. No, they have to. Why? What is the little girl saying inside? I want a period.
Okay.
I want oppression. I want to be suppressed by men.
Wow, that was a deep statement.
It is. I want patriarchy. 844-55-1. Who wants to talk about it? Let me introduce my crew right now. We got phone lines cracking. Everything's crazy right now. But I'm not afraid to have this fucking conversation. You might be, but I damn sure ain't. Let me introduce one of the wildest animals in the world. She is perpetually hungry. She's cute. She's like one of them little deadly animals that you think are cute, and you lean over to try to pet the motherfucker, and then she bites you and scratches you, and there's venom and shit. She's one of them. And whatever animal that is, it is Red Panda.
Hey, happy Friday. We're acting up in this bitch, and don't talk about my gays. You already know how I feel about that.
Yeah, you kind of low-key gay yourself.
I mean, define gay.
Yeah, you like a little yogurt box.
I'm just a human being that likes other human beings, whether they be male or female.
She's bisexual. She's greedy. She wants attention from everybody. 844-55-1. That's the number to dial. Jesus Christ. Let me get the homegirl in here, because maybe she can tell you about your gay-ass astrology.
Heka activated?
Yes, Heka activated could tell you if your planets are sweet. Do you have sweet planets? Fruity planets? You got Pluto, and he got a little mango in him. A little mango flavored Pluto. This is why you like dudes, dude. Heka activated. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Heka.
Where's she at? Where Heka? You there,
There's
baby
Veronica.
girl?
I'm here.
Oh, that's Veronica.
Veronica.
Okay, that's not Heka.
That's
That's
Miss Veronica
Veronica.
Conway.
Exactly. We playing Heka's Incredible Hulk music and everything. What up, Veronica? You have a special story about this, and then we're going to get to our phone line. I see it; it's blinking like a mug right now. Listen, if you want to participate in today's topic, y'all get at us right now. 844-55-1. That's the number to dial. Ashonti,
Yes.
what are the actual numbers? You don't know? Just said, fuck it. I got a job here, but I don't take it serious. Cut her mic off before she says anything. Just thank you. Back to Veronica. You have an actual story, right? Where you've experienced motherfuckers going through this change and really having a difficult time adjusting. Speak on it.
Yeah, it's funny. I have two stories. When I was in college and I went through my wild-ass bisexual phase.
Oh, really?
Where I was dating Sebastian, the supermodel, and I just, I went through a phase. And you got to understand, I was hanging out in the very beginning of the rave phase in San Francisco, right? It was like everybody was in there and like hula hoops and sucking on lollipops, and it was very like, no real genders happening, lots of ecstasy and, just stuff in the mix. So I was the very beginning of the rave days when I was in college. So we used to hang at the rave sometimes. And there was a woman, and when I say she looked like a woman, she looked like a woman. I mean, as fine as the day is long. And in my club heydays, like I'd wear wigs and I'd bust out like fashion, and we'd hook up with Grace Jones at 6 o'clock in the morning. It was crazy. But this particular woman, Melanie, was so gorgeous. She was this beautiful. You would have never guessed. The only reason that I knew that she was transgendered is because I heard she had gay male humor. I don't know how to explain it. It was like there's a certain humor that gay males have, and she had it. So we would talk, and I just kind of watched her really deteriorate. And one of the things that I found out is that she had a full-blown sex change. She had the whole operation. She had she was actually turning tricks, turns out. She was turning tricks as a prostitute, as a female prostitute, and her vaginal reassignment surgery, I guess, was so profound that, she'd pass as a woman.
Wow.
And she was gorgeous. But
is that the woman that
would get, as I kind of knew her, and the rave scene was kind of fun. It was like lighthearted partying. It was like, oh, ecstasy and woo and woo. It wasn't like heavy drugs, but she would start to get really, really lit and really deteriorate. And it turns out she had not had any therapy because she kind of cobbled together her gender reassignment. Like it costs a ton of money to get your gender reassigned with all the surgeries and all that. She cobbled together the money, and this is 25, years ago, plus. And she slowly deteriorated, and I think she ended up committing suicide.
Oh my gosh.
I think was what I heard. And
So
she was
he-
beautiful.
Wow.
So he was a guy and then he became a girl.
Yes.
Wow.
Now, I have a colleague that I work with actually on a fairly regular basis at a distance that works in my not in my company, but does, stuff for my company, who's a brother now who is female to male, and which is rare. It's rare to have female to male, I think, in the first place, but then it's rare to have a melanated person do it, but he's as happy as a clam.
So you can get a dick?
Happy as a clam bake?
No, so a woman that wants to be a man can get a dick?
How is
Yeah,
that even
got the
possible?
whole-
And it gets hard and everything? It's like a man bitch.
And he's happy and has successful female relationships. But he
Wow.
did a lot of work around his inner psychology before he did it, and is really kind of low key about it. It's just but he runs a multi-million-dollar company. He's a client of mine sometimes, and he's sane.
You know what's really interesting?
Wow.
Twitter is on fire too right now. Tweet me your comments, your ideas, your concepts about this, or call me at 844-55-1. The brother on Twitter, I don't know if it's a brother or a sister. All I know is he says he called the show the Nature Abandonment Show on the Voice of Reason. I mean, let's just take this deeper than anybody ever thought possible. Is this really is gender really about a mind state, or is it? I mean, because, well, I'm probably answering my own fucking question, because if gender is about a mind state, right, then that would justify people saying, you know what, I feel like a girl, or I think I'm a girl on the inside, or I think I'm a boy. And then they go change their biological construct to fit the psychological construct. But let me say this about the psychiatry and the psychiatric and, the crazy industry, as we call it. Them motherfuckers don't know what the fuck they're doing either. Right? So we'll go trust them and get there. But, well, my therapist said that I'm really a woman inside myself. Right? And they go trust them, but they don't really know. They can't really tell you what you are. They can't really evaluate you. You know who's really good at really just shitting on the psychiatric side of the game? Scientology. Scientology, they hate psychiatrists, and they go at them.
Yeah, they do.
They go at them.
Really do.
And then they go at black people who fuck with therapists, because they say, do you know psychiatry was used to justify slavery? A motherfucker want to run away from slave master. They say, oh, that nigga got drapetomania. Right? And the motherfucker who created it, who his name is on every psychology student who graduates and becomes a psychologist or a psychiatrist, that motherfucker's name is on your fucking diploma. He was the one who came up with drapetomania. Niggas running away. There's something wrong with him mentally. Why would he ever want to run away from slave master? And the only way to heal this motherfucker and heal him of his drapetomania is to whoop his ass with a bullwhip. Wow. This is the roots and the birth of psychiatry in America.
That's interesting.
Right. Now, before moving out of psychiatry, what did they do? They used to do all type of experiments on people, dunking them in cold water, fucking beating them, tying them up, all types of weird ass experiments.
And the father of gynecology. I mean, the father of gynecology. If you research the father of gynecology and his experiments on slave women without anesthesia, having babies, and like the way that modern gynecology came to be was a completely horrifying experiment without anesthesia on slave women. I mean, it's horrifying.
I mean, a lot of the shit they did at Tuskegee in the name of science is fucking outright torture. And now we look to them as, you know, the think tank to listen to when it comes to, you know, these, you know, mental dispositions. Can we really trust them? The phone lines are open, 844-55-1. That's the number to dial. I have one more crazy fucking question. I should wait. I'll wait. Marie, line 3, you're on the line. Can you speak to us about this?
Hi, hi Zoe, hi ladies.
What's happening? What's happening, boo thing?
Hey. Okay, so I just wanted to talk about, I saw this documentary when I was in college. I took a gender studies class, and basically there were a lot of people who were transgendered on there, and the reason that they became transgender was because they had did all this research on their DNA, and they found out that they had extra chromosomes. Like, these were men, and they decided that they wanted to become women. And they decided that based on having that extra chromosome, which was from the female chromosome. So I just wanted to get you guys' take on that. Like, do you feel like that's really justified, or do you think that that's kind of weird?
No, you know what? You're saying something that's hella deep, and I'm going to set Veronica up to answer it because she knows this dude, this scientist cat out of the Bay Area, was working over at Cal. And that was the dude who found out that them frogs, after they gave them some fucking certain kind of chemical, that it changed the frog from male to female. Yeah, so now my question is, what the fuck y'all doing to the food and the water? If you really, I'm just saying, if you really want to control some population, and if homosexuality and the explosion of niggas say, oh, this shit existed for thousands of years, but there's a proliferation of this shit happening.
No, seriously, because there's been a lot of bitch ass niggas running around here.
Okay, where the motherfucking mic button at? Where's it at? Thank you. Hey, all you motherfuckers out there that love Ashonti, y'all want her to stay on the motherfucking mic? You tell her to act right in daddy's house. You understand? Act right in daddy's house. Veronica, finish that shit. Veronica said, really?
So here's my observation, because, like I said, I had sort of a distant observational relationship to the gay community back when I was sort of in college. And I would say that it's probably, I feel like my sense of it is that it's paced historically at around 10% of the population had either homosexual or transgendered, like, more natural inclinations that way. In other words, people were born that way. Like, I had a gay roommate once, and he said, I was playing with dolls from the moment I was 2. Like, there was just no question that I was sort of born this way. So I think that there is a whole thing about nature there versus nurture. I think what's happening now, there's a guy named Tyrone Hayes, who was a professor out at UC Berkeley, who was studying atrazine, which is a pesticide. It's a weed killer that they put on corn. So what he found, 30% of all corn in the U.S., when he was studying this, was being sprayed by atrazine. And so atrazine is considered to be, it has sex swapping effects. So in a frog, he was finding that male frogs were actually turning female. They were actually literally developing feminine organs.
Wow.
And so when he brought that back to the attention of the people, the company, which is, I think, Synergista or something. I don't know if you Google it, it's like Synergista, and Synergista and Novartis, which are really big. They had a huge relationship with UC Berkeley, Syngenta, and they were funding it and doing all this stuff. They were getting big donations, all this stuff. And he went back to everybody and said, hey, the frogs are turning into women, and it's all over corn. Now think about it. Corn is in everything. Corn is in feed. of animals. It's in high fructose corn syrup. It's in candy. Corn is in absolutely everything. So 30% of the corn supply is now has sex swapping effects from masculine to feminine. Think about the implications of that for the planet. So when he went back to that company, it basically, if you Google it, it like became a crazy ass thing.
Hold on one second.
I'm sorry.
As if Red Panda is not crazy enough.
It's a normal thing now, vapes. It's
she's
not like
in
an
here
aggressive
smoking
thing.
weed.
But it's in a vape form. It's not a blunt. It's just straight THC oil. So it's like, it's totally acceptable.
Like this motherfucker is at the crib. She got the fucking... What's those fucking lights with the goo inside the light? What is that shit called?
Lava lamp.
She got the lava lamp. Ain't none of that shit in here. This ain't your bedroom. This nigga over here pull out the vape, start smoking.
No, because I like listening to Veronica and smoking.
You know, Veronica talking about,
Hazel.
frogs and shit, changing genders. I know. Marie. That's her name.
Mary. Yeah, I got another question too. Okay, I don't know if you guys remember that one Olympic lady who was winning all the races. I think she was from Africa or Jamaica or something. But they wind up discounting her because they found out she was a hermaphrodite. So I just wanted to know, hermaphrodites play into this whole thing too. Like, should she become transgender and compete against the men? Because I felt like that was just, I don't know, where do they fit into society? It's kind of crazy too.
But I think the ultimate question that you're asking, and that's a great question. Thanks for the call, Marie. I appreciate it. That's a great question. The ultimate thing that she's asking is, with such a divided culture, right? We live in a really fucking divided culture. When you look at America, ageism, racism, sexism, classism, and then there are hella infinite subdivisions of all of that, right? When you look at black people, there's fucking classism within black people, right? These niggers, they didn't study anywhere. They're beneath us. And then you look at another sector of black people. Oh, this nigga is way too dark. Jesus Christ. The darkness on this nigga is frightening. And these are black people talking to other black people, right? Right? Yeah. My goodness, this motherfucker's dark. Oh, the fuck? And then they see another. The milky whiteness on this nigga is glorious. It's all these different factions and ideations, right? It's hard for people to step outside of all of those different lenses. Can you imagine, when you see bifocals and they had that little line underneath, on the glass where you could look at, it has, one type of sight above the line and then another type of bifocal. With all of the different mental delineations that we have, it would be like fucking a pair of bifocals with 85 lines on it, right? With different perspectives. It's so fucking difficult for us to step outside and say, let me see this person as a human. The niggas ain't doing that. When I say niggas, I mean everybody. Everybody's niggas. Asian niggas, white niggas, Russian niggas. Well, Russians are white niggas, right? It's just niggas all over the world, right? Bitch ass niggas, bitch ass bitches. It's just they're everywhere. So with all of this going on, it's impossible. It's seemingly impossible to see people for who they are. And these transgenders and homosexuals and bisexuals and trisexuals, because they'll try anything, they're asking you, right? They're asking you, just accept me for what I am. But if everybody was raised in a particular culture and kind of psychologically institutionalized in a certain way, it's almost impossible to ask them to step outside of themselves and see you for what you really are. Do you understand what I'm saying, Veronica? Yes, I do understand what you're saying. I think that the game has changed, and I think that there's something beyond nature. I think 10% of the I think I read somewhere that 10% of the animal kingdom tends to practice a little bit of homosexuality. So it's kind of it's a trend in nature that's it's sort of a biological imperative. So I get that exists, but I think what's happening now is a whole nother thing.
I think what we're seeing in young black men right now is a whole nother thing in terms of, I don't think it's just because they feel free to come out. I think that there's something afoot in terms of what's happening in the damn food supply, which is crazy.
There's got to be some type of genetic shit going on, you know? Just like,
But I also think
you're saying something big right now, and I want to drill down on that. No pun intended. So, you said the food supply, right? But it's not, I think you see different machinations of that. I remember back in the day, a lot of women didn't have fibroid tumors, right?
Right. That's from perms.
You see a lot of kids today, eczema. A lot of kids didn't have eczema back in the day like that. Right. It's a lot of bullshit happening.
They didn't have autism. They didn't have autism either.
Autism.
They didn't have autism either. And now 1 in 60 kids has autism, and they think that's, you know.
Like some shit ain't right, and it could be what we eating. With that, I mean, I'm not saying, oh, you don't get to exist, little transgender person, girl, boy, shamanism. I don't know what the fuck to call you. But I'm not saying you don't get to live. I'm just saying I don't understand. Help us understand. Because I'm going to tell you right now, real men gonna fight you if they find out you ain't. Listen, you want to see motherfucking Gollum? Smeagol? I told you they were tricksy.
A lot of celebrity artists have been getting caught up with transgender people.
Yeah, like Tyga.
Just recently, yeah. It's not like he knew, but...
How did he not know?
She looked like a woman.
Did the motherfucker have a meat schlong in his pants?
They might not have got that far.
Was it the crying game and he touched on some motherfucking Franken beans? Hey, oh, shit.
But does it really matter if they've had the...
really good... So there's, you know, if you're talking about, there's transsexual and there's transgender, right? So transsexual means you've had the full operation. I'm telling you, there's some very, very, very good transsexuals out there,
right?
That would put a woman to shame.
And does it matter if they've had the surgery and everything? Does it matter?
It matters to me.
Why?
You was born Clifford. Now you Clarice? No, nigga. You were born Clifford.
She has all the same parts. I'm just curious.
She ain't got all the same parts.
If she has the surgery, she now has a vagina.
She has a man body with a cooter. With a surgically created and crafted cooter.
Look at Caitlyn. Caitlyn now looks better than his ex-wife.
That don't mean Caitlyn is a woman.
I'm just saying, when they get these surgeries...
You still got a dick, you a man. Listen, 844-55-1. You guys want to call and speak on this shit? Because it's getting crazy. 844-55-1. They taking us in a place that I don't, you know, how do you define yourself now? Heterosexuality is going to turn into the minority on planet Earth. What do you think of that? 844-55-1. We'll be back in 2.2. I'll holla in a second. Hey, this is Zoe Williams, and you're listening to The Voice of Reason on Hot Button Radio. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back in the building. As the promo just said, this is Hot Button Radio. The only way to get this is download that Dash Radio app. Wow,
I looked at that and I didn't know that my mic was actually on.
Right, yeah. Okay, blame it on not knowing the mic was on. Anyway,
my mic is never on, so I'm used to just being able to say whatever.
Kind of not true. Anyway, 844-55-1, we're talking about transgender buyer's remorse. It's being underreported, but it's out there big time. There are a lot of people pushing the agenda. Oh, embrace the rainbow, embrace the transgenders, the lesbians, the gays, the LGBT or BLD, what is it, the lesbian LGBT. BLT sandwich. Just embrace it all.
You need to fucking relax.
Just embrace it all.
Times have changed.
It's all love. We all love. But you know, it's a promotion. Everybody's on the phone. Everybody's saying, yes, 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 love, 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 love. But at the same time, there are a lot of people out there who went through the process and are suffering. Right? They get what they want. It goes back to my homeboy Mo D. In order to have what you really want, you got to get what you want. And then once you get what you want, you recognize, God damn, this probably isn't as fulfilling as I thought it would be. Right? To me, do you think the transgender movement is an external movement. Let me tell you what I mean by that. You know how people always try to go outside themselves to find happiness? Well, if I had the perfect relationship, I'd be happy. If I found the perfect partner, I'd be happy. Or if I had the perfect job, I'd be happy. What about, can you now put, if I had that surgery, I'd be happy? A lot of people don't recognize. Just because you change something on the outside doesn't necessarily mean that the inside is corresponding. In a spiritual way, spirituality says the inside got to change first. So how many people are saying, what is it? Why is it? Where did this come from? What does this mean to me? Is this a spiritual journey I'm on? A lot of times people are just trying to get out of one situation to get in another. And they think if I get in another, I'm going to be better. The grass ain't always greener once you cut it off. Once you slice off your little salami, and now all of a sudden you got a meat wallet, not as happy as you thought you would be. Or vice versa. You was born with a meat wallet, now you got a salami, and you don't feel cool. Wallet? That's what it is, a little change purse.
This is
a little moist
really
change
weird.
purse. You got a little moist change purse. You call it a jelly box.
It's a jelly box.
Look, she says it so it's a jelly box.
It's something to be happy about.
I mean, I wish you could see her face. It's a jelly box. There's all types of preserves and jams and things in there. It went from a sweet little jelly box to a man pole.
You didn't need to do all that.
It went from the pokey to the poker.
I could understand why a man will want to be a woman.
Just say more.
Because we're popping out here in these streets. Women have the power.
I thought she was going to say something deep.
Women have the power. We just let you guys think that you do. We plant little seeds and then you guys think that they're your fucking ideas. Women have all the power. Sorry.
That was kind of cool. I fuck with you. You was close to getting that goddamn mic cut off.
I know.
So
I was like watching the mic. Like,
so your only fan out there, you better stop cutting her mic off.
You see? That right there, you just fucking did it again. Do you see the fucking bullshit I'm talking about?
Hey,
that's
keep
cool
your
though.
Sexy voice.
No.
Jesus.
All right, sorry. I got out of control.
Yeah.
We all have.
They posted you on Twitter, getting out of control. Anybody want to see? Go to my Twitter page. You'll see Red Panda losing her fucking mind, hopping on somebody. It's what she does. Veronica, do you understand do you understand the picture I'm painting? I do. The transgender movement is a happiness movement, right? Couldn't you not put it in context to people doing shit externally to be happy, and then once they get, the result of what they've been doing, once they get it, a lot of people are unfulfilled after they get what they thought would make them happy.
Right.
Could we not frame the transgender movement in the same way, in the same light?
Well, if you go back and you look at the research on it, what do they call it? Gender dysphoria.
Dysphoria.
Right. When you grow up believing that you are in the wrong body, right? And many people that I guess have that experience in childhood. And there's different schools of thought about whether it can be outgrown, and whether people get gender reassignment too early, or whether they, and because now the culture is in a full embrace around the transgender movement, I think it becomes a more nuanced discussion because, it's embraced and celebrated, and I don't know if it's encouraged per se, but I just know that it's changed dramatically in the last 25 years.
Let me ask.
The whole zeitgeist and the whole culture around it has completely changed. So, me, Zo, I'm a little bit radical, and I've studied stuff around the origins of homosexuality. I'm going to say that transgender is very different than homosexuality.
Mm-hmm.
Two different things, actually, typically. But there's a whole thing around early Greek life and homosexuality in that life, and how Europeans have developed sexuality and how it connects to aggression. There's a whole thing about white sex and how it operates.
You talking about the origin of the butt bandits out of Europe, right?
Where are you fucking getting this language
No,
from?
this is real.
Butt bandits?
The butt bandits in Europe were serious. Like, if you go back to Roman and Greek culture, they would marry women, but they always had a boy, right? They always kept a boy. And when they married the woman, you know what they would do? Like, the bathhouses for the boys was real. Like, all these men, the senators who run the country, they would always have boys, right? But when they got married to a woman, what they would do in the Greek and Roman culture, they would make their wives dress up as their knaves. Knave, of course, is, Greek and Latin. It has its roots in Greek and Latin, which just means boy. They would have their wives dress up as boys, get into bed, dress like their boy servant.
It's weird.
And offer up the Duke shoot.
But do you understand the origin of that in the caves of Europe?
Speak on it.
Okay. So let me.
She's like, are you sure?
Are you ready?
This is the realest radio show in the world. You better talk about it.
No, they talk about the reasons the origin of all this stuff and homosexuality really began, and also sort of alternative sexual practices really began in the caves of Europe because food was not readily available, and men had to go out for weeks and weeks and weeks at a time and hunt for food. They couldn't just go they couldn't just go gather the food the way they could in hotter climates where brothers and sisters were. So they had to go out, and sometimes it would be weeks and weeks before a kill. I mean, you'd come home and you'd have a whole clan to feed in these caves, these cold-ass caves. So that they say that the European man learned really early that he wanted to have sexual gratification, but he didn't want to have children because he didn't want more mouths to feed. And so that the European woman learned to entertain him in sort of alternative ways, like anal sex and oral sex and all that stuff, because she didn't want him to come home in a rage from having gone out and tried to find the hunt and have to feed all these people and maybe kill her. So that's where they say the European sexuality and his aggression got connected. And it's also where pedophilia got connected, because rather than have sex with a woman that might be procreative, it's like have sex with a boy or a girl that was prepubescent so that you wouldn't have to, so that you could have sexual gratification that would not result in a child.
So the boy's ass twizzler doesn't allow him to get pregnant.
Correct. Nor does a young girl, nor does anal or oral sex. So some say, there's some very deep scholars on this that say that's how all of this got wired up in the early psychology of the European. Sexuality got connected to aggression.
Wow.
That's why whatever you see in terms of how they function all over the world against black and brown people, it usually involves some form of genetic mutilation or genital mutilation or sexual aggression. War is connected to sex in the European mind.
Let's go deeper. Wouldn't the transgendered operation be considered as genital mutilation?
Mm-hmm. I have a question.
Veronica, I'm asking you.
Oh, that's a real question?
This shit ain't rhetorical.
Shit. I don't know.
So I'm not a doctor. No, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a psychiatrist. They'll give you an answer. Yes, it is, according to Freud and all these other motherfuckers that are now dead that we still follow. Yes. What? How can we say this definitively?
I don't quite know the answer to that. I mean, I think that there is a unacknowledged, unreconciled form of, you got to understand, brown and black people all over the world have internalized their oppression. They've internalized some degree of self-hatred because of their experience in white supremacy.
Oh, this is good. This is good.
Europeans externalize their self-hatred. They take whatever they feel that's negative about themselves, and they go out and they act it out against black and brown people all over the world out of their fear.
Let me ask you this.
Of genetic annihilation.
Let me ask you guys this. The number to dial is 844-55-1. The phone lines are crazy right now. I'm going to get to them. But is it safe to say that the sex reassignment surgery is in effect a form of self-hate? That question leads me to this question. If you believe in God, do you think he got it wrong? If you believe in God, are transgenders disrespecting God's creation?
That's fucked up.
Why would God create you one way and maybe it wasn't right? Like,
You could say the same thing about breast implants and ass implants
sure,
and dick injections.
Absolutely.
Same.
We need a spiritual answer like, God gave you a little dick because he wanted to teach you a lesson, because when you had a horse dick in your last life, you beat the shit out of many uteruses, and your karma is to come back with an inchworm.
Wow.
We need Heka on the line to help us with that.
A lot of things. That's a lot of things. Yeah. Yikes.
I have a question.
Could that be a possibility? How is
Maybe.
karma associated with transgender? Let's speak on it. You have a question? Go ahead.
I do. For transgender and transsexual individuals, is it their responsibility to tell someone that they're newly dating what's up?
Oh, hell yeah.
But how soon? Because you want to just be liked for you. So it's like, is that something they have to say up on contact? Hi, my name is so-and-so. I'm transsexual.
I think it's fair to disclose. We're talking about disclosure now. Right away.
I don't know. That's kind of weird.
Like if it's a super bad, beautiful woman that you think is a woman and there's an attraction, listen, that first fucking movie we go to, listen, right before you buy that goddamn ticket.
Yeah.
Listen here.
Yeah. Got it.
Up front.
The reason why my Adam's apple is like this. Huh?
Even if they're I understand transgender, but even if they're a transsexual, like they've had the full.
Listen,
Yeah.
just because you had the
Yeah.
full whatever.
Yeah.
You still got to be up front right away. I know you need to tell the other person, but I'm just like, how soon?
You got to tell them soon. That's a telephone conversation before we even get to the movies.
Yeah.
That's you
Yeah,
couldn't. That's you couldn't tell.
Another gender. Yeah, I think that's full disclosure. You got to.
You got to.
You got to. I mean, my guy that is very successful. He dates women. Like he has healthy dating scenarios, and he's upfront and clear, and it seems to work. But I think
Veronica, how does he broach that conversation?
Yeah.
Like, how does he start that conversation? Like, I was a dude or I was a girl before. Now I'm Charles. I used to be.
That's a great question. I can text him and ask him that, but
Please, have him call
I don't know the mechanics. I don't know the mechanics of that. I just know that it's my sense of it, and my communication with him in a general way has been that he is pretty straightforward, and and he just deals with it, and he's loving about it, and he's present about it, and he's like, there's no pressure about it. There's no expectation around it. And so, I think when anybody is stepping to anybody from the space of truth and love and presence, I think they're compelling no matter what. So even if the woman ends up not being into it, I think his personality kind of shines in there, and it at least piques the interest because of his internal stance. But I think that requires a fair amount of mental health. Like, he's mentally healthy. He's sane.
Wow. Buyer's remorse. Fuck. I've always wanted to be a girl. And then when the day comes and you're at the point of no return and you wake up missing your swipe, your God-given swipe, and now you have a little pocket, how do you feel? 844-55-1. If you've ever gone through it, somebody call me. This is a free space. There's no judgment here. You can call and share your story. We want to know. The phone lines are absolutely cracking. I'm going to take one call before we go to break, but I gotta.
Wait, so is it the same for employment then when they go in? Do they have to mention if they're transgender or transsexual?
What if people are changing their gender because the gender that they change to is treated better by the government, or the government has more resources for them? Look at this fucking rainbow revolution that's happening right now. They use the same template as the African American civil rights movement, and they are further along than black people.
There's more, I was going to say there's more gay males in corporate than black males, that's for sure.
I'm just saying.
Black straight male.
Fuck, this is crazy. The phone lines are bananas right now. I'm going to take a caller real quick. Let's get Gumby, Texas, line 3. Holler at us.
Hey, what's up, kings, queens? What's happening?
What's up, bro?
Hey,
speak on it, brother.
Depopulation.
I said speak on it. You think it's depopulation? Go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's depopulation. Because look at what Chris Brown said. He said, I think it's depopulation. Let me shut my black ass up before I get in trouble. The first people who got in his ass was Red Cross. The Red Cross been blamed to giving the Africans aid. So I think it's all depopulation with them putting it in food, like changing your sex, whatever that chemical is called, putting it in food.
Right. Turning fucking male frogs to female frogs. You know how it is. Fuck it.
Yeah. And then you got systematic. I ain't even gonna call it white supremacy. I'm gonna call it white classism, because black ain't even a color. White ain't even a color. White is a form of class.
Right.
I still haven't got the Black Law Dictionary book, but I think it's like a form of class. Just because of that system that's put in place, everybody's suffering from it. You got like men growing up, you got boys growing up inside a school system to where they see that it's easier to be a woman or girl, in class, because they get treated better for their outrageous activity. And I mean, being a black male, you get sent to detention or kicked out of school for being just a regular boy. You know what I'm saying?
So are you telling me this is big? This is big right now. Are you telling me that it's so hard out here for a black male that many black males are opting to change their gender for a better social status? Fuck.
I don't think any niggas are doing anything
I
like that.
don't think any real men are doing no shit like that. Come on.
With the help of the food, going into your body, and then you got this systematic oppression happening up against you. It's like, hey, why not? Might as well.
There's a lot of crazy shit going on in 2015.
Man, I appreciate the call, dude.
We
got to bounce, man. That was crazy. We're going to take a quick break.
Crazy.
When we come back, Heka activated. She going to let us know if you just got a gang of transgendered fruity planets.
Wow.
This is fruitiness. Fruitopia. We'll be back. The Voice of Reason. Hey, this is Zoe Williams, and you're listening to The Voice of Reason on Hot Button Radio. DJ always in your ear, man. DJ always pulled out what one Twitter follower called moist melodies on the VOR, the koi fish playlist. Oh my God.
What's DJ always?
DJ always in your ear, right? That's your Twitter, right?
It's not popping up.
Man, he killed the game on that mix, though. Whew. Listen, if you're just tuning in, this is The Voice of Reason. I'm Zoe Williams. We have conversations, and of course, we broach very, very serious topics. In a way, we try to add, a little levity, a little humor. Because if you can't laugh at yourself, you're not a real human being anyway.
But sometimes you do too much.
Okay, wait a minute. Hold on. Where's she at? Right there? Bam. This is what we talked about before the show. Like, shut your mouth as I set up. Oh, you don't know how to shut your mouth? Mic off. This is why her mic gets cut off. Ashonti Ford's #1 fan. She got one fan. I don't like it. Don't do it. This is why she gets her mic cut off. This is why she get her mic cut off. I'm trying to set up the show. She wants to talk and she's a panda. She hasn't been trained. Okay. So back to what I'm saying. We try to set up, these very serious topics. We need some levity. You can't laugh at yourself. You can't take any of this shit serious. I want you to laugh at yourself. Jesus. Anyway, I missed my point. Missed my goddamn point. The voice of reason is back in the building. The phone lines are cracking. And guess who joined us on this most ratchet topic? My girl, Heka activated.
Hi, how are you guys?
Welcome to the show, Heka. We have to put your music on.
Oh my goodness.
This is your music, babe. The Incredible Hulk. Tell us, Heka.
Is that the theme song for the show?
For the Incredible Hulk, yes, it is.
Okay, so that goes to show how much I know, honey. I've never even watched it, so.
Come on now, that was one of the greatest shows of all time.
Yeah, I've never been a big television fan, so I didn't even know. I really didn't catch it. Call me slow a little.
It's all right. This is the music you always hear when David Banner has torn up a city and he's leaving at the end of the episode, walking. He's probably thumbing for a ride. He has his backpack.
Yeah, that's right. This shit is complete. It is complete. Let's walk away and go to the next one, right?
Yeah, let's go to the next city and tear that motherfucker up. We're going to change twice each episode.
A new asshole as well. Absolutely.
Right. So, Heka, talk to us about this transgender movement, man. There are a lot of transgenders out there that are having buyer's remorse. They push themselves all the way through and try to do it. And then once they do it, they're disappointed because they did it. Did they really have a female soul? Did they really, like if it was a male trying to...
At the end of the day, all embryos start out as feminine. I mean, I'm sure we all know that, right? So not only that, every last one of us, I'm inclined to believe, has had the opportunity to experience both masculine and feminine energies in this earth. Every last one of us. So sometimes they want to connect back with those feminine energies, especially when you see, astrologically speaking, when you see someone that have very feminine inner planets. And of course, you know, the inner planets are the sun, the moon, Mercury, Mars, Venus. Those are your inner planets. And anytime they're in the very feminine signs like Pisces and Cancer and sometimes even Scorpio, although, you know, people like the term Scorpio as that very hard masculine energy. But sometimes when they're in those very feminine signs, they come off as being that. Sometimes the balance is not, they're not properly balanced. The energy is not properly balanced. So they do want to go back or have that experience of being more on the feminine side. It is real. But I laugh, and it baffles me how people come up with these theories like the damn McDonald's French fries make men feminine. That's the craziest shit I ever heard of. But they're just acting out or playing out the energies that they actually entered into this room with. It happens.
Is it possible? I know there are no doctors or, you know, psychologists or anything like that on this show, but is it possible that a person who still feels like a woman, if you say everybody started out as women, and this is true, that's a scientific fact. You can look that up. Everybody starts out as a female in the womb. And then as you develop, you know, the chromosomes get to develop and then it chooses what you're going to be, boy or girl. But everybody starts off with a yoni. Everybody starts off with a little packet down there. And then, you know, you turn into a dude or a girl. You stay a girl. Do you think that some of these people who decide or who feel like they're still a girl, if they've developed into a boy, or say they are a boy who developed, you know, or became out a boy, but still, do you feel like they have that connection back to when they didn't know what they were? Because the argument for, say, abortion is it's a conscious being when it's a zygote, right? It's a conscious being. But the people who are for abortion would say, no, that's a clump of cells. not a baby, just a clump of cells, and we get to scoop that out. It's not a life yet. You feel what I'm saying? Right? So my thing is that clump of cells or that little being who hasn't developed a penis or a vagina yet, or some would say it is a vagina, right? Is that little being conscious of what it is? And then when you become an adult, are you saying, damn, I wish maybe I made the wrong choice when I was in the womb developing? Isn't that interesting? Veronica, what do you think?
That, believe it or not, may be a question that's beyond my pay grade. And I've gone back, I've regressed back into some very powerful experiences. But I don't know.
Veronica, you Virgo. Come on, you can come with it. Come on, Veronica.
What? I know that we make certain choices very early after we are born here on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
I have regressed people back into decisions that they've made in utero. So my sense is that usually later in life there is some sort of a consciousness that exists in the baby because we've accepted in hypnotic regression. We've just done it over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know how that impacts what people decide in terms of gender and redeciding gender. That's beyond my pay grade.
Wow, this is crazy. You know, the phone lines are batty. If you want to get at Heka Activated or Veronica Conway or Ashonti Ford or myself, talk about this subject, get at us right now. Rainbow Transformers, buyer's remorse.
This is just getting out of hand.
But we love you. Let's go to Nate, Arizona, line 4. You're on the Voice of Reason. Holler at us. Nate, take your phone off mute, Nate. 3, 2, deuces.
Nate.
All right, Brother G, Los Angeles, line 5. Get at us, Brother G.
How everybody doing today?
What's happening, bro? Thanks for hanging on.
All right, it's all good. I just want to make a statement on how I feel, why this transgender shit is being pushed heavy by the media in all forms of devices of that nature. Don't you? We all agree that we accept women like women, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That we accept as society. Okay, now all of a sudden, out of nowhere, society wants to accept man how he naturally is. I mean, how he not naturally is. So I've been thinking this. You know how everybody, the government got this population control. Well, if you got the majority of the population, both young women and older women, that's gay, and then you got half of the men that's gay, guess what? You will never have children to be birthed that motherfuckers got to even worry about. That's my opinion. That's how I feel about it.
Wow. Man, I appreciate you for being a G, calling in from Los Angeles. Who want to represent their city? If you want to represent your city, call us right now at 844-55-1. Los Angeles is in the building because of Brother G. Who wants to be the next person to represent their town? Call us, 844-55-1. We're talking about transgender buyer's remorse. Not everybody happy after they do this. And this is one of those one-way streets. You go in, you don't come out. Right? You can't change it after you do it. My question is, what is the essence of the disappointment after it's done? 844-55-1. The grass ain't always greener when you change gender parts. 844-55-1. Let's get to the phone lines right now. We got Najee from New Jersey, line 6. Holler at us, Najee.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
What up?
Hey, all right. Hey, so listen, I just wanted to make two statements with my whole beef with this whole thing. I just don't like the fact that it was kind of like this movement was propelled off the back of African Americans.
Wow.
And meaning that when I was on social media, I've seen so many African Americans caping for this Supreme Court ruling, and I'm like, you guys don't even have the full right to vote. You know what I'm saying? So that's just my whole beef with that. And also, it was kind of put on us that the African American community is more homophobic than any other community, which is an outright lie. Because, you know, I'm from North New Jersey, and I vividly remember, I mean, it was a group of homosexual guys, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, they did their thing. Matter of fact, there was boosters in the neighborhood. Nobody hated on them. Nobody ever attacked them. You know what I'm saying? I remember going to church, that little sweet little choir director, or the little sweet guy that was, you know, singing in the choir. Nobody hated on them. We just thought they was a little funny. So I just feel real disrespected that the movement was propelled off our back. And as far as with me, and when it comes to homosexuality, I'm a straight man, but I would call my cousin. And listen, I have no knowledge. I don't know if people are born this way, but check it out. When we was outside playing football, he was in a house with a kitchen set baking cookies, and that's what I can remember.
Hey.
So with that being said, you know, hey, they have the right to be who they are, but you know, all this pushing it on everybody else, and you trying to convince people that it's normal, I really just think is an imbalance. That's all.
Right. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for the call. Listen, get to your phone lines right now if you want to share your opinion. 844-55-1. That's the number to dial. We're talking about transgender buyer's remorse. And now they're ubiquitous. That's my word, ubiquitous. They're everywhere. I mean, and it's getting harder and harder because of technological advances in surgery and medicine. You know, it's getting harder to detect them. And Ashonti asked a very poignant question earlier about disclosure. When should a transgender who's gone through the change, like this is fucking menopause or something, who's gone through the change, you know, disclose? And do they ever disclose? If their surgery is good enough, do they even have to? God, man.
Yes, they have to. Yes, they have to.
Somebody on Twitter said before you even exchange numbers, you should let people know what's up. It's kind of early in the game, man. No?
All I know is people are scared
to disclose their information.
First off, you can be heterosexual. Heterosexual motherfuckers scared.
Yeah.
The caller, Najee from New Jersey, just brought up a great point. In the black community, we've always been like, Uncle Charles, watch him. He gay. Don't let that little boy sit on Uncle Charles' lap.
Right, that's so true.
We've always had a way of dealing with motherfucker. Uncle Charles, don't let, you know, little Bobby sit on Uncle Charles's lap. Because we know Uncle Charles is that way. Right? So in our families, we know, like my brother, he told a story about my oldest brother that I didn't know about until my second oldest brother told me. When I tell you them niggas is Heru, one is Heru and the other one is Set. These niggas is polar opposites. One is Virgo, the other one is Pisces. The Virgo is the oldest, happened to be gay. Right? The Pisces, second oldest. Warrior nigga. 16 years. When he was 16 years old, the nigga was built like Karl Malone. 6'3", never lift weights, but just buff, big. I was always protected by that dude. You'll read about it in the new book. Always protected by that dude. He told me the story. It was like, we was outside in the projects being trained on how to box. And our big brother was upstairs with our sister, you know, participating in a tea party. He was like, I knew then, like, something ain't quite twisted on all the way. Back then, tell the truth. Call us right now, 844-55-1. Tell the truth. Back then, old people saw homosexuality as kind of crazy.
They still do.
Now you know Uncle Charles ain't all the way right. You know Big Mama would tell him now. Y'all know Uncle Charles ain't all the way together. Am I bullshitting? When did we turn into... I had a 60-year-old guy tell me, he just said, man, we just really not in a position to argue about it now. He said back in the day, we had a barometer of God and family. God and family, we didn't really approve of that. And we just kind of dealt with it. We kind of managed it, don't bring that shit round here now. You got a boyfriend, you better go over to that nigga house and see him. Don't you bring that nigga over here Thanksgiving or Christmas or any of them days. Y'all remember that? Is that me? Is that too harsh?
I think so. These are people. These are not, you can't treat people based on who they want to fuck. These are just people.
Listen,
that
Christianity
have made a different decision than you. Now, I do agree that you should tell somebody up front, but why would you treat somebody differently because of that?
All religion, I would say all the Abrahamic religions, Christianity, Islam, listen, that's my belief. That gives me a fucking coupon to judge you and be in your bedroom.
I mean,
tell me I'm bullshitting.
You could judge somebody, but you shouldn't act upon it.
That is the Christian way. You fucking heathens who come in here with the fire of Michael and cut all of you motherfuckers down with the blood of Jesus. 844-55-. Am I lying?
See, I want to speak to the hypocrisy of that, because understand that all the major, if you're going to call it patriarchal institutions, the Catholic Church, they all, not only are they homosexual, but they're pedophiles. And if you go back to the Roman and Greek church, it was all homosexual and it was pedophile. So all of it, if you're gonna judge a society, you should judge it by its origins. Just like if you're gonna evaluate the way a child is as an adult, you can go back into its formative years to understand why it functions the way that it does. So if you look at the origin of the churches, it's got homosexuality and pedophilia wrapped all around it, all through it from its origin.
But that's the question.
The fact that we even bought that shit is crazy to me. The fact that we even bought that story from the European is crazy to me. I know they beat it into us.
That's crazy.
but the fact that we bought it is crazy.
Heka?
Given its origins.
Heka? Veronica brings up a great point. Is the church itself, which was founded on the old Roman Empire, which was openly homosexual, is the church? Because a lot of people in America likes to differentiate the church as if Catholicism isn't the fucking mother of them all, right? Catholicism gives birth to all of Christianity. Is the church, like Veronica said, basically homosexual itself while at the same time being homophobic? Speak on it.
Yes, I would agree with that 100%. However, what I won't agree with is the fact that it actually started there. I have the tendency to believe that it started way even before the Roman Catholic Church, even dating all the way back to ancient Kemet and Egypt. I mean, there was homosexuality being practiced then too. Now, we are three-part beings, and as a result of us being three-part beings, of course, we're spirit, physical, and soul. So when a person is, when the fertilization process takes place, when creating a baby, at that moment, the spirit begins to grow. I have the tendency to think that the soul doesn't actually enter into the body until the baby is ready to make its exit from the womb. So there very well can be some confusion as to, gender, because again, that soul has several experiences of male and female energies.
That's interesting.
That's just my take on it.
That's very fucking
and I want to
interesting.
piggyback on what Heka says, because I think that there's a distinction between having what could be construed as sort of, a small percentage. They say it fluctuates between like 8 and 10% of any population as having homosexual. Just the chromosomes are just wired that way. There's a distinction between that and the institutionalization of it and the political escalation of it to have an agenda, right? There's a really fascinating study out there, a website out there called the Pink Swastika, and it talks about how really Nazi Germany was deeply, the people that were running the SS in Nazi Germany were deeply homosexual. That it wasn't real. It was a war against. It was an Aryan war against the planet, right? But it was also run by predominantly It was about having white Aryan homosexual, the worship of the phallus, the worship of the Aryan masculine ideal. I think it's called the pink swastika, and how all these really these institutions. You look at Jerry Sandusky. You look at all these institutions that have this going on as an institution. That's where I think it begins to get out of pocket, because that type of power tends to run amok, as we've seen. Because it doesn't care who it hurts on its way to its agenda.
I agree.
Because
That's
it doesn't.
heavy.
Because you need the feminine to deal with life. The
That's
feminine
heavy.
brings forth life.
Okay, let me
right?
get
She's the life bearer.
let me get to Heka on that too. Go ahead, Heka.
Okay.
Respond.
Okay, I guess the only thing that I want to say is that I agree. I agree on what Veronica is saying. However, what I will also say is that every single thing that white America has learned, they've learned it from black people. Period. Point blank. Everything.
Big statement.
Everything. There's nothing that white America has not learned from black people. So I don't feel as if this
Heka,
game is exempt.
you're saying something really big, and then let me just say this, and then it's over to Ashonti, and then we got another caller on the line. Look, man, there's an African tribe, and people misinterpret this African tribe. Maybe they saw this in I think it's in Somalia or East Africa somewhere, where the men are more attractive than the women. And the men make themselves up with makeup and everything, and these are very attractive brothers, but that's part of their culture to attract the woman. So maybe, how white people do, they go to Africa, they see shit, and then they interpret it. And in a lot of ways, they interpret it really fucked up. Like the first guy who goes to Africa, who, this white guy who saw the gorillas. And this is where we get the word gorilla, because it's from its Greek root. It means a tribe of hairy African women. That's what the word gorilla actually means. So he sees the gorilla and goes, hey, there's a bunch of hairy African women. I will call them gorillae. And this is where we get our word gorilla. So maybe some white, adventurers or, go to Africa and see those brothers dressed up in a certain way, and they might think, oh, they're feminized. But in actuality, they weren't. Man, I don't know. Ashonti, you have a point?
Well, first, I know our phone lines are crazy, but we still want people calling in. We have another, 20, 30 minutes?
Yeah,
that number
the
is
phone lines is crazy.
844-55-3274 or 844-55-1. Just something that's crazy. Obamacare actually covers the transgender treatment, but it doesn't cover HIV.
So a motherfucker can have HIV, fucked up in the game.
Among other diseases.
So Obamacare covers the front end, but not the back end.
Literally. No, there's a lot of pre-existing conditions that Obamacare doesn't cover.
I'm sorry. We got to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to get to the phone lines. Hot Button Radio. We're not afraid to have these conversations, but you are. That's why you tune in to listen. Anyway, if you want to participate in the conversation, please call us at 844-55-1. That's the number to dial, 844-55-1. When I come back, we got other callers on the line. I'm getting to them. Crazy. Hey, this is Zoe Williams, and you're listening to the Voice of Reason on Hot Button Radio. Man, DJ, always in your ear. This dude going in on the mix right now. No pun intended. Pause.
Extreme pause.
Extreme pause on the going in. Jesus. How fire was Michael Jackson in the closet?
Always.
Jesus. Was Michael Jackson and Prince the gateway dudes to the cultural acceptance of transgenders? They might not have turned into girls, but those two powerful, androgynous, effeminate dudes, could they have molded a generation of dudes to think it's okay to walk around with mascara and high-heel boots on?
Niggas love Prince.
I mean, Prince.
Everybody loves Prince.
Yeah. I mean, do we just chalk that off as, oh, he's an artist? It's okay that he wears a G-string. his ass is out on stage. It's quite all right because his music is great. I mean, I believe in imprint vulnerability. Like, at a certain time, you see some shit you probably shouldn't have seen, you might get imprinted on. Like them old ass Looney Tune cartoons when that little baby duck or chicken sees that cat or that dog first and starts chasing them and follow. You're my mother. No. Like late night, you see Prince on Arsenio and his ass is out or something. You go, hey.
So that means that you think that gay couples that adopt, you think their kids are going to be gay?
You are your environment. Right? I'm not saying that it's some kind of contagious disease that gets on you. I'm sure there's some heterosexual men out there that were raised by two daddies, or a heterosexual woman that were raised by two mamas. But, I mean, Jesus, how do we process? I don't know. Veronica, Heka, I'm glad you guys are here. You guys add like a spiritual element to it.
What about me, nigga? I'm not spiritual?
No, you're just a nigger. No. I'm just kidding. Come on. You guys understand. You got to, if you know me, you love me. Off the radio, I'm somebody else. On the radio, I'm a motherfucking fool. And I have fun doing it. Oh, by the way, my PR person reminded me to mention this.
You have to.
She,
Did you see my tweet?
Yeah, she tweeted out a picture of it. I have in my hand the physical copy of the Relationship Dismount.
#1 seller on Amazon right now.
Freaking dope. I mean, the cream pages.
The book is great. It feels great.
Yes. Matte cover. Feels like a suede book. Right? The Relationship Dismount. I'm really happy to have the physical copy. This is just the galley or the proof.
We need to get that on a Borders bookshelf.
Yeah, man. This is awesome right here. I'm excited.
Whoa, hello. I went way too far with that.
Right? I'm really excited about the book coming. And the physical copies for everybody who pre-ordered theirs will be coming in the next 2 or 3 weeks. This is the galley. I have to read it and make sure that, not grammar, but content, punctuation, everything is right. But it's awesome. It's beautiful. I'm excited about it. If you want to get your copy, you got to go to IamZoeWilliams.com and pre-order your physical copy. But you know what? I want you guys to help me keep the Kindle version #1 in the divorce section on Amazon.com.
Absolutely. That's a big thing.
That's a big deal. So please.
Amazon is a big distributor.
Yeah, please go out and purchase the Relationship Dismount. How to Stick the Landing When Leaving a Toxic Relationship by me, Zoe Williams, on Amazon.com. And hey, I'd rather you get that physical copy, though. Jesus. It's beautiful, man. I've been just holding it like it was.
How much is that going for?
On the website, by the time you get shipping and handling locked in, it's like 30-something.
Okay.
Right? 200 pages.
It's worth the value.
12 chapters. Exercises at the end of every chapter.
It's a workbook.
Yeah, it's definitely a workbook. I appreciate everybody who participated to help it get to this point. Ashonti did that. She's the PR wing. She's dope.
Exciting things.
It is, man. But today, thank you, Veronica and Heka. Thank y'all.
Congratulations. Yes, I'm excited for you.
Oh, hand claps and shit. Wow, a little peanut gallery. I love it. So this topic is heavy. It's heavy. I really want there to be, like, I don't want to say justice, but let me say the biggest hindrance in the human condition is non-objectivity. And the reverse of non-objectivity, of course, is judgmental, right? Judgment. That ain't right. The fuck is that? Right? We're, Jesus said, or Moses said, or Abraham said, or Allah says, or you understand what I'm saying? We're always locked in, some filter, some dogma. Let me say it. I don't profess to know shit, right? I don't know shit. Every time I read a book, all the shit I thought I knew gets a bath, right? It gets a fucking bath. So, I'm always trying to push myself to understand. I don't have to like you. I don't have to agree with you. I don't have to conform. I just need to understand, like, why is it the way that it is? And then once I get to a point that I don't understand, I get content with not knowing. I was trying to explain to a person I was coaching. I was like, you're so focused on the end result that you can't see the process. Right? And the end result to a lot of people equals an answer. Well, I don't know what that is. I just need to know. It's good to not know sometimes. Sometimes the answer is indeterminate. Sometimes the answer is, I don't know. See, I don't know as a response is an answer. And sometimes I'm not content with that. Your life would be much better off if you made space for, I don't know, I don't understand, and that's okay. With the transgender people, I don't know, I don't understand, but that's okay. With the homosexual people, I don't know, I don't understand, but that's okay. Now, we all have, discussions and debates. Don't come in here gangbanging with it. Right? The knowing is in the going. The fuck did this little bootleg ass philosopher?
You could have at least read it to yourself and then, you know what I mean?
I just
our time is short.
Listen,
so.
I like fucking with Chris.
He likes fucking with you too.
No, I understand what he means. The knowing is in the going. The going is the process. I got you, Chris. That was pretty good. Little baby philosopher. It's nice. He's learning.
How cute.
No, but seriously, I just believe that the process is the most important aspect. I tell my son this all the time. You can win a fucking championship, but what makes it meaningful is the shit you went through to get to the championship.
Yeah.
What if you didn't go through shit and you bought the championship and you got all of the best players in the world and y'all just win it because you're just better than everybody and it's not really hard to do? You can win 100 of them motherfuckers and they won't have any meaning. I go back to the 2010 championship of the Los Angeles Lakers where they beat the fucking Celtics. And Kobe Bryant had the worst game 6 of his life. Worst shooting game ever. But he made it happen. And they beat him. And he said, you know what? This is the sweetest one. Sometimes the shit you go through is the thing that elevates the experience, that elevates the reward, that elevates the understanding. We don't know why people are homosexual or why men feel like there are little girls inside of them or women feel that there's a little boy inside. We don't know. But I do know judging them and persecuting them doesn't make the situation better, and it doesn't make the persecutor better. Right? I just, Eddie Murphy said it best. I'm going to go home and have a drink. Well, I'm going to go suck a dick. Well, you go on and suck a dick. I'm going to go over here and have a drink. You can go on over there and do that. I don't want no parts of that. You can do that. I think once we get to the point where we start to respect other people's lives and stay out of their shit. We inferred earlier that church puts us in a judgmental space that injects us into people's bedrooms. Fuck is you doing in there with you and dude? What kind of man wrestle? It ain't none of my business.
That's 100 though.
That's none of my business.
It's not.
So, with that said, I'm just going to wrap it. I want everybody to listen. Y'all niggas need to fuck with Ashonti Ford, right? Girl on Fire.
Girl on Fire production.
Right? New website coming.
I'm really excited about the new website. It's just going to centralize everything for me.
She's a PR extraordinaire. She does my PR work. She's out there grinding. She's adding clients by the second.
I'm actually working with Veronica on her Black Mastery. I'm super excited about starting that project.
You see what I mean? It's a real situation.
Super excited.
Yay.
Yay. Right? DJ Always, where can they find you, bro?
Am I up? There I am. Always in your ear on Twitter or always on Instagram. And if you want to send in any requests or would like to get a CD, you can hit me at alwaysr9@gmail.com.
That's what's up.
Ooh, CD, yes.
Yeah. The brother's mix is crazy. He got like 50,000 records on his fucking
I've been
computer.
cutting up in here.
Heka activated.
Hi, you can reach me by visiting my website at www.hekaactivated.com. And Heka is spelled Heka. Activated is spelled just like it sounds.com.
Wow. We got an awesome team here, man. Let me say, Monday shows are going to be fucking retarded.
What are we talking about on Monday?
I can't say right now,
So
but
you
Jesus.
don't know.
It's a secret.
Thank you. Hey, Dean, when she cuts me off, what do you do? Cut your woman off right now. Cut her off. Thank you. So as I was saying, before this random panda enters the fray, she is a random panda.
So I love like Random Panda.
Random Panda is about to be her new name. Just in the fucking business. Hey, listen, seriously, I need you guys to go support that book, The Relationship Dismount, on Kindle right now. We want to keep it as the #1 book for divorce. That's what it is right now currently. It's only $9.99. Please support that movement. Go to Amazon.com and of course, purchase the book. Or you can pre-order a copy, a physical copy. Man, I tell you, it's beautiful. I'm going to upload a video of me previewing the book on Instagram and Twitter in about 10, 15 minutes after the show. You guys can go to IamZoeWilliams.com and pre-order that. I appreciate everybody who helped bring this thing to fruition. It took me 6 weeks to write it, but it took 4 years to pull together. Or 3.5 years. Anyway, I appreciate everybody. We'll be back Monday. Hot Button Radio, Dash Radio. We finna rock out with a little mix with the brother DJ Always. He's in your ear. Check him out right now. We'll be back Monday. Voice of Reason, Hot Button Radio, Dash.